1, go!
Okay, so yeah, we're finally unmuted. Literally all this time I thought I was muted on OBS itself, but no, turns out it was me. It was me. I just needed to press a switch. Hello everyone, welcome to your Losers Finals. So fortunately we're just getting started into it, so you haven't actually missed anything. That said, yes, we are 40 seconds of the game, and Rozza is at triple digits already. And dead, actually, for that matter. So, yeah, an unfortunate start for Rozza there, but Rozza getting quickly back into it there, trying to just rack up damage. We're going a bit more defensive here, just running away, spacing his moves. Ignoring my co-caster behind next to me. Rozza still doing a really good job here of actually just, despite that early stock loss, just making sure he's not taking any bit of damage, only taking small bits here and there. Of course, Gary has changed on that Charizard. He's aware that, he's been at the sort of high percent he is. He wants to switch into a heavier character, keep himself alive for a little bit longer. But Rozza's having none of it, going to land that back air straight into him, keeping this game very, very even despite that initial setback. Of course, Gary immediately getting back into the flow of things, going from that Squirtle to the Ivysaur here. And he has commented before that, Ivysaur kind of the character he sort of most likes out of Pokemon Trainer. Out of Squirtle, Charizard, Ivysaur, Ivysaur is his favorite and the one he always likes to go to the most. Just because it hits hard, it lives a long time, and obviously sets up a lot of combos. Rozza just keeping that good bit of spacing, using the PK Fire, throwing out those neutralizers. Very quick move, which means that Gary cannot punish it. But you cannot run away forever. Gary will hunt you down and send you plummeting down to the abyss with that down air. Rozza using those up Bs, those PK Thunders, just to keep Gary up in the air. And typical what Rozza likes to do, quite a lot is actually just use those up Bs just to connect in. Normally followed up with an up air, or even just keep you in that disadvantaged state, so he can put you in a position where he's able to punish. But Gary obviously identifying it quickly, gets a forward smash as well, flowing off stage. And this could just be it. Instead, Rozza just slamming into Gary there, putting him in an attackable situation. Cannot save him from that, but in the end, the down air comes out once more, and Gary taking game one.
But I think most of the Earthbound track could technically come under Hill.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, technically. Right, anyway, here we go then. So, Karma being put on once again, because Gary is the absolute GOAT with the music choices. Launch ourselves straight into game two. You already see just Rozza just spacing himself a bit more, going a bit more aerial, but Gary using that Squirtle, just a bit of a quicker character, throws out those moves quicker, just getting these combos started, setting up, sort of this very early game here. Rozza just using those aerials just to kind of space around, just phone them out, see which ones connect, see how, Gary responds. Excellent recovery from Rozza there though, going low, bouncing into stage, using that second up B as well, just to, put him in a position where Gary can't actually punish him. Again, Rozza just kind of playing very, very nicely, just sort of putting himself around, but Gary just knowing that Ivysaur has these big hitboxes on him. Oh, and you see that Gary actually did get the, the drag down upper, but then couldn't actually follow through with the up air again, but this time Rozza unfortunately SDing there, air dodging off stage. Either misinput or buffer, one of the two. But Gary absolutely going to take this, capitalize on this advantage that he's been given. The Razor Leaf following through. Such a difficult projectile to play around with as well, especially as it comes out, so quick. A lot of people I still see, think that it does come back like a boomerang. It doesn't, and we need to stop, thinking it does. It's literally just a projectile that just comes out and then it stops. It's never been a boomerang. It's never going to be. Yeah, it's just it's a projectile that very much, yeah, it can be just thrown out. You know, Ivysaurs can just kind of space a bit. You know, it can be used for whatever they want to. See Gary there, you know, trying to go for that down there instead. You know, even though it misses, just throwing at that forward tilt instead, getting the kill. Gary in a really good position here to this game too, but Rozza still fighting on here despite being on his last stock. See him keeping himself a little bit more grounded, you know, changing up already how he approached stock 1, where he was very much aerial, but no, this time just trying to keep himself a little bit more down to earth. But good stall from Gary there, gonna avoid that, the down B, but, oh, the neutral B, sorry. Good. Oh, and you can, I think there actually being a misinput from Rozza, unfortunately, you know, where I think he was intended to go for a forward throw, but instead of getting the down throw, you know, finally, you know, does rectify the mistake without too much damage being put on though, gets that back throw, putting both him and Gary on their final stocks here. But of course, Gary could be going into that Squirtle, just getting these low percent combos going. But Rozza starting to rack up damage here, getting those PK fires going. Gary now in a good position here to follow through, switch that Ivysaur, looking for the kill. Not going to go to the Charizard just yet. Going to keep on the Green Lizard. Gets that down throw. You can see him just waiting, trying to, you know, predict what Rozza would go for, but Rozza not giving him any room to do anything here. You can see Rozza just playing around him, just going for these neutralizers around the shield, just playing very kind of spaced, very defensive. Gary just throwing out these moves like these up airs, trying to find that finishing blow. But Rozza doing an excellent job of keeping hold of his stock here, knowing how important it is, using that PK magnet as well, just to space around, go for the back air. Another one of the moves that Rozza really likes to do. He loves to use that PK, that magnet, just to go around someone's shield and then surprise them with a back air when they think they, you know, they might have dropped their shield. But Gary aware of this one, throwing out those down as well, and then the down throw as well. Not yet. Rozza still hanging on here in this game too. The Charizard finally comes out. Gary has had enough, going into the Heavy Lizard there, and then the up B out of shield. A classic move there, coming out and putting a stop to Rozza's advance. Right, here we go, and so game 3. This is all or nothing for Rozza here to keep his bracket dream alive. See what he can do. Going back to small backfield for here. This is actually a stage that both players really like going to. It's just very sort of neutral between both characters. Rozza using that up B as well, just to keep, you know, Gary away from him, if nothing else. Especially if you get caught in it, there's no chance that Gary can actually punish Rozza for it. So Rozza now just spacing around again, just playing a little bit more defensive, trying to find that one opening here to get his advantage, stay going. Gary just again just playing very, very nicely, not allowing Rozza any room to do what he wants to do. He's not going to let Rozza play his game. The Ivysaur is out. You see him going for that quick downer as well, trying to find a sneaky kill, you know, while Rozza was off stage, but unfortunately not finding it. And I really like that Gary as well, using that down air just to actually stall in the air. You know, it wasn't just throwing it out, you know, to actually, you know, kill Rozza or put damage on, but actually just stall him out, you know, avoiding that PK flash. But Rozza comes flying, getting that PK fire into the back air, taking away stock 1. Gary into the Charizard now, looking for the kill. Just immediately swap back to the Squirtle, get a few more low percent combos going. Potentially going to see a switch from Gary here very, very shortly, you know, coming out into that Ivysaur. There we go, the switch does come out. You can see Gary going for it. I love that he went for the down air, then actually opted not to go anything, just predicting a, you know, a stalled recovery from Rozza, but again, Rozza doing a really, really nice job of just hanging on, gets that shield out in time to avoid back air as well. Gary actually struggling here to find the finishing blow that he wants on this stock. Meanwhile, Rozza just, you know, free to put on as much damage as he wants. This is all free damage to him. But Gary actually struggling to recover there, you know, trying twice with Ivysaur, finally having to opt into the Charizard, who he's going to stick with for the meantime because he's trying to find this kill. Rozza going for the yo-yos as well. Tries to go for a stall recovery. Doesn't quite work out though. Gary does get his hands on him. Finally takes away that stock with the back throw. Classic, back throw back air there. Gary's really just, sticking with this Charizard. Good parry, but not able to find any sort of punish on it. Rozza still, avoiding taking too much here. Even the fire breath coming out, but Rozza just falling to the side of it. Gary going low, but the yo-yo recovery gonna dangle off that ledge and take away Gary's stock. Now Rozza in a good position here, good lead for the first time in this set. Gary on the back foot here, desperate to find this kill before it gets too bad for them. Again, lovely stall from Rozza, they're not able to find too much. Gary also playing patiently, finding that up airs. Trying again, just on the hunt now. But you can see Rozza playing very attentively. Gary throwing out the up B, trying to get that vine whip into Rozza, but it's just not going to happen. Rozza playing so nicely here. Again, the drag down, tries to follow through with the forward tilt, but again, just not able to get anything. Using the PK Magnet just to, damage Gary's shield just a little bit. Charizard is out, and Gary is clearly said enough is enough. I'm at 115% on my last stock, and you need to die. Trying to do the classic of, hanging on to the platform and then just dropping down, going for that back air. But Rozza is far too aware of it at this point. So instead, Gary says, you know what, okay, I'm at a high percent anyway. I am going to throw out that Flare Blitz. I've not done it a single time in the set, so I'm going to do it right now. Now, 138%. This is a very, very high percent for Gary to try and win from, and it's just not going to happen. As Rozza finds that back air, taking away game 3. Rozza finally finding his foot through the door, getting himself a game on the board. That's what we're about to find out. Again, Rozza just throwing out this quick neutral edge just to put a stop to the combos, but Gary always finds a way, getting a small little bit of damage there, but Rozza actually doing a really good job of just DIing away from all of those, making sure that Gary cannot get much out of them. Does find that quick outbeat out of shield though, backing on a little bit more damage. Rozza, again, just trying to space around, not throwing out too much. He just wants to make sure he's not doing anything too risky. The Ivysaur is out, Rozza is off stage, and that down there is a coming. Unfortunately, Gary not able to find anything just yet, but again, putting himself in position, goes for a quicker down there this time. But love the use of the, vine recovery there, just actually stalled out Rozza going for that yo-yo off stage. Lovely jab reset as well from Rozza, but unfortunately, in the end, SDing to the abyss below. Rozza down a stock here, but certainly not out of it yet. Gary, again, just reading what Rozza wants to do on that platform, going for two up smashes there, and finding the back air as well. This is looking scarier and scarier for Rozza here. After hitting that first stock, he's now down at the second one. And then a SD from Gary as well. It's not something we often see from him, but fortunately air dodging there to his death. This is finally giving Rozza a chance to come back in. No longer at quite such a mounted climb as he was before. But definitely still in a scary position as Gary still has that just 2 stock. Needs to make sure he's playing this stock absolutely immaculately. Ensure that he doesn't, can still take on that final stock without taking too much damage. Gary's not letting it happen. That down smash comes in as well. Ivy back with the Ivysaur now, looking for the kill. Rozza 83%, good air dodge read from Gary. This is looking scarier for Rozza here. Gary is playing immaculately well, spacing himself all around what Rozza wants to do. Again, just keeping himself patient, just putting himself in the perfect position that he can punish. Rozza not able to find anything, and then in the end, it is the up B that connects, and Gary takes the set 3-1. Put himself back into Grand Finals and back in a rematch against Carnage.